it sounds like, Elon Musk did like a brilliant business decision. But no, even in this, it was a massive fuck up. He's the greatest fail son of our generation and the greatest depiction of how this system is fucking insane, because these fail sons are the ones who get on top through failure and failure and failure. It's no longer even about, following market trends and being a good little exploiter. At this point, if you have enough capital, it will generate it even if you're walking around with your dick out eating shit. It's still gonna make Dogecoin explode, okay? But no, thank you very much, Diego. Thank you very much, Ian, HistóriaPública, for joining me today.
My name is Ian. I'm a Brazilian historian. I'm a Marxist-Leninist, and I'm a communist militant. It is a pleasure to be here because we want to laugh a little bit about things happening in Brazil, because we have a saying in Brazil that is, we never die of boredom in Brazil. And today, this Elon Musk affair will prove to you guys that this is absolutely true. And I made a little bit of an exposition here to explain how this started. Hopefully my English holds up.
So my name is Diego. I'm also a Brazilian, but I'm like a foreign Brazilian because I left Brazil when I was like 10. I've been moving around the world ever since. I'm currently based in the north of Mexico, in Monterrey, which is interesting for the conversation today. And this is why I asked Yuboknik to chime in, because Elon Musk is installing the first Tesla plant here in my city. So it's going to be a very interesting comparison, and I think it's very contextual for this specific historical moment to have this conversation. No?
Let's start the conversation, but let's start it like very, very base. Ian, please, like you're talking to the biggest layman and somebody who doesn't know what the fuck these three dudes are talking about. What is happening with the future marshal of Brazil, Elon Musk, and the current evil, authoritarian, anti-free speech communists on the ground? Tell us the story.
Hopefully. I want to show a couple of images because for us to talk about the Elon affair,
yes,
we have to talk about these two, which I'm most certain you do not know who it is, but we'll start with this bald, beautiful guy. This guy is where our story begins. This guy is a supreme minister. He's a judge. He has a couple of nicknames. We'll go through that.
Is one of them Agent 47? Because I'm sorry, that is Agent 47 from Hitman. But
yeah,
he went down a different career path.
If you know any celebrity who's bald, it's his nickname. Yeah. Every single one. Egghead is one of them, but we'll get there. This guy is called Alexandre de Moraes. Sometimes I can accidentally call him Xandão. Xandão is his nickname. I imagine that for a non-Brazilian person, a non-Portuguese speaking person, this nickname makes no sense, but it is a rather common nickname for someone called Alexandre, which is the Portuguese version of Alexander.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This guy has an interesting story. He became minister in 2017. I don't know if you know this, but Brazil went through a coup d'etat in 2016. In 2016, the president of Brazil, which was Dilma, it was a woman, she got impeached out of nothing, with no crime, just because she was preventing some neoliberal reforms from passing easier. Dilma got impeached, and then her the vice president took charge. The vice president is a big friend of this guy, a guy called Michel Temer.
Mm-hmm.
Michel Temer took charge and appointed Alexandre de Moraes, which is a personal friend of him. Just to be clear, in the Supreme Court, I don't know if it's like this in the whole world, but in the Supreme Court, the current president nominates the ministers. Sometimes a minister dies or gets old or retires, and the current president nominates a new minister.
Yeah.
He nominated this guy. This guy, let's be clear here. This guy is very conservative. Very, very, very conservative. I want to show a video that earned him his first nickname. This video is in Portuguese, but the images tell a lot about what's going on. The title says, Alexandre de Moraes cuts marijuana plants in Paraguay.
Which should tell you
It is-
more than enough. If you
Yeah,
got a guy to
he-
record him as he cuts the evil
exactly.
devil plant.
And the voiceover is even funnier because he says, "We are working full time to eradicate marijuana in the Americas. Eradicate marijuana."
Parceria no crime transnacional, parceria principalmente, esse é o efeito mais importante.
Have you ever seen this video, Diego?
Criminalidade organizada.
First time.
É desde o momento que assumi, senhor ministro, do federal, determinação do presidente.
he's going left and
é o
right.
combate à
Look at this
criminalidade
movement.
transnacional. É quando nós
Have a machete
afirmamos
right here,
a
I don't know where
necessidade de uma
Yeah.
operação fronteiras
Imagine
seguras.
this Supreme Court minister saying, "Grab a camera. I'm gonna grab this machete and cut this marijuana plants in Paraguay."
Shows exactly where his headspace is at. Absolutely, God. Yeah.
So this earned him his first nickname, which was the Paraguayan gardener. And for years he was the Paraguayan gardener. But everything changed when Bolsonaro won the presidency. What happened? In 2019, the Supreme Court was investigating a very similar affair to the Cambridge Analytica affair, which was used by the Bolsonaros, especially the one of the sons of Bolsonaro, to elect his father with mass messages, automatic messages on social networks, the directed messages to specific people, especially with which we call today fake news. The main app we use for communication in Brazil, it's WhatsApp. So in 2019, they established the Fake News Inquiry, which was intended to, I quote, investigate the existence of fake news, slanderous reports, threats of theft of posts without due copyright, infractions that may constitute slander, defamation, and insults against members of the Supreme Court and their families. What was happening?
Sorry for interrupting, but that's like an interesting add-on to it. Like the rest
Yeah,
is we're combating misinformation, and also if you call me a dumb idiot, like basically.
It was exactly that, especially with this guy. This bald guy, the Paraguayan gardener, became enemy number one of Bolsonaro and his followers. Why? All of a sudden, this conservative guy who wasn't very opposed to Bolsonaro in the beginning started to act to keep Bolsonaro from doing some crazy shit. That is the simplest way I can put it.
Yeah.
Bolsonaro started trying to do
His
some
level
crazy
of
shit.
unhinged was not at the same
Yeah.
level as Bolsonaro. He's like, my level of unhinged is being an anti-marijuana gardener, but this guy is just too much. Okay.
Yeah, the way I interpret this is Bolsonaro was put there to attend to the bourgeoisie needs, and the Supreme Court was keeping Bolsonaro from escaping the leash, keeping fascism under control, using it as a guard dog. So, because especially Alexandre de Moraes was trying to keep Bolsonaro from doing some crazy shit, Bolsonaro started attacking him. His followers started to attack him, and that's the addition of defamation and insults against members of the Supreme Court and their families. So what happened was Moraes was the president of this inquiry. And of course, when you try to prevent the spread of fake news, you hit one of the main weapons of the far right in the whole world. Fake news are a part of the spread of the far right. So the interests of Bolsonaro were started to get compromised
Yeah.
by this fake news inquiry, you know? So what happened was the following. What is a place that is very common when we talk about the spread of fake news? Twitter. Twitter is one of the most unregulated networks that we have, even before this Elon guy bought it.
Yeah, before it became X. Yeah, but somehow to me,
Yeah.
like it's super impressive that it's again to continue using the term unhinged. But Twitter has always been unhinged, but since the Elon Musk takeover, it's even more unhinged. Even though they added the community notes, etc., self-regulation, but we all know that this doesn't really work. But yeah, absolutely agreed.
Yeah, and that's where we get to Elon Musk.
Yes, Diego.
Yeah, I just wanted to wanted to add a little parenthesis to this, which is very relevant. You know, Javier Milei in Argentina right now, he has something, a unit, let's say an intelligence, a stupidity unit called the Troll Center, which is like a call center for trolls, which is, we already know because I have so many friends working with this actively in Argentina, is 5,000 paid, actively paid trolls with huge accounts on Twitter that they control the meta narrative of whatever is happening politically in the country. So I think Ian is spot on of bringing this point forward, because every time we talk about free speech and, you know, this notion as Elon Musk has declared himself to be a free speech absolutist. And it's insane because there's no such thing as free speech absolutism from a company that has investors. You know, just with the theory of manufacturing consent from Noam Chomsky, it's very easy to understand the subtle control that capital exerts on freedom of expression. So no, expression is never free. It can be unhinged, which is completely different from free. Unhinged is more aligned with whatever the implicit idealistic or political points of view from the owners of the company are, and those are going to be naturally amplified, not with regulating mechanisms, but with deregulating mechanisms. So it's strange because what we currently call freedom of expression in social media is just the natural systematic expression of the interest of capital. It's not necessarily a freely expressed opinion from an individual or a subject. It's just whatever amplifies the intention and the system and the logic of capital is going to be unequivocally synonymous with freedom of expression. This is what is strange. Freedom of expression today within the current political discourse is synonymous with the logic of capital. This is why we have to be very, very careful in using those terms, because they can be easily kidnapped. Because in the end, freedom is freedom of the individual, liberal values, the rational individual, freedom of expression, free will, and all these ideas of freedom are in the end connected to liberalism. And liberalism is just the political expression of the logic of capital.
Beautifully put. Yes. Right. A nice Gramsci throw in there. That was like, for some reason, regular Joes, if we could call them that, or to use more fancy terms, people with no class consciousness, think that free speech can kind of exist in a bubble which borders them and saves them from the structure and interests in which it exists. Yep. And it's extra insane that they can say that about a social media platform, which, as you've both said, is fucking privately owned. So it will never allow, not even like actively not allow, like there's a fucking, SS Twitter squad walking around and stopping certain particular points of view, but just organically will push the rhetoric of the status quo, and more importantly, whatever can make the particular platform extra money. That's why I feel like Elon found, as we're going to learn more about our amazing gardener, found the gardener as a great kind of thing to harp on and point and say, yo, there is a Twitter SS over in Brazil that actually wants to stop the true freedom of speech which we are trying to achieve here, right?
So getting back to Twitter, we arrive at the Elon affair. Elon Musk bought Twitter, and let's be clear here. I think I said that 3 times, and my audience always clocks me for repeating words in English. But to be clear, Elon Musk did not buy Twitter to be a protector of free speech. He bought Twitter to do business. He bought Twitter and
he also got fucked up because he realized that it's not going to really bring him money, so he wanted to pull out of the actual purchase, but then was forced by the rules of capital, which nobody can break, not even the wealthiest man on planet Earth, which should tell us a different conversation about the number system being more powerful than any human, and therefore it being de facto inhuman, but conversation for another time. Yeah, but the only reason I'm mentioning it is because it sounds like, I know that wasn't your intention, but it sounds like, Elon Musk did like a brilliant business decision, but no, even in this, it was a massive fuck up. He's the greatest fail son of our generation, and the greatest depiction of how this system is fucking insane, because these fail sons are the ones who get on top through failure and failure and failure. It's no longer even about following market trends and being a good little exploiter. at this point, if you have enough capital, it will generate it even if you're walking around with your dick out eating shit. It's still going to make Dogecoin explode, okay?
I've seen the best nickname for Elon Musk in the chat. Apartheid Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah,
that was
classic.
the
Classic.
here in Brazil we kind of call him Rocket Joe, Rocket Dude, you know. But Apartheid Jimmy Neutron kind of got me. So I wasn't going to commend Elon Musk for buying Twitter because he made the company lose 70% of its market value.
Yeah.
So this billionaire can turn your company from billion to million with this simple trick. It was genius. So after he bought Twitter, he was trying to impose this free speech absolutism. But Twitter had a problem with regulation in Brazil way after Elon Musk bought it. So to be thorough here, the business of Elon Musk in Brazil do not start with Twitter. Elon Musk visited Brazil in 2022 because he wanted to bring Starlink to Brazil. Starlink to make satellite internet available in remote areas. When he came to Brazil, the Bolsonaros went traveling immediately to suck his dick, to be scientific here. It was the most spectacular cuckery I have ever seen. And Bolsonaro acted actively in the regulatory agencies to make sure that Starlink came to Brazil without any regulation. It was a total fraud. So Starlink came to Brazil, especially in the region of the Amazon forest, and it was very successful in making internet available to illegal miners. The Amazon forest is filled with illegal miners.
Yeah.
Especially gold miners, and Starlink internet is being used massively by illegal miners to communicate with themselves. So thank you, Elon Musk, because you made combating the illegal mining in the Amazon much harder. Thank you. You are legitimately apartheid Jimmy Neutron.
And I love how he sells that. I love how he sells that he's giving internet to the wide Brazilian masses who are engulfed in poverty, that he is raising out of it so that they can actually speak truth to power and liberate themselves from XYZ. Yeah, classic.
And Starlink makes internet available for 0.1% of the population. So fuck you.
There you go.
This is what I was saying before, that we have to be very careful with the notion of liberty. So the second dialectical term of liberty is for the freedom of humanity to express itself without the coercion of the state. So whatever we are seeing now is the true liberal intention. This is the true geist of liberalism, is to have a world in which the geist of freedom from the human spirit can truly manifest itself. So when Elon Musk is providing free internet to illegal miners, this is perfectly in line with neoliberalism. Yeah. We have to understand, it's not that the system is broken and we have to fix it. No, the system is working exactly as it is intended to work. This Bingo. Is in cybernetics, in Kubernetes philosophy, we say that the system is what the system does. So what is the system actually doing? Not what the system intends to do or what are its values, notions, and philosophies. We don't care about that idealistic bullshit. We are materialists. What is the system doing? That is what the system is intended to do. The system is actively fighting against regulation, and as much as it can, is deregulating for the productivity and the efficiency of the self-replicating logic of capital to work.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. There you go, chat.
Yeah, so,
you get to learn something today, motherfuckers.
And Diego puts the poetry.
Exactly. No, amazing. It's the combination is great. If I could take both of you and like put you in my basement and then bring you up every time chat actually wants to learn something, doesn't want to look at me scream at apartheid or something, I will pull you right out. Right? Okay.
So to conclude our Elon affair, what happened that changed it changed Elon Musk's behavior towards the Brazilian government? This month, a American journalist called Michael Schellenberger leaked some emails that are
Sorry,
now
but
being
repeat
called
the
here in
name.
Brazil
Michael Scherberger.
Schellenberger. Yeah, I have
Incredible.
never heard of this guy, but he leaked a couple of emails that are now being called the Twitter files. These emails are from 2020, from 2022, I believe, and they show employees of Twitter before Elon Musk bought it, complaining about requirements made by the Supreme Court.
Damn.
The Supreme Court was contacting the Twitter staff, making some requirements, mainly to suppress hate speech, fake news, and they required the demonetization of far-right pages on Twitter. Especially specific ones that question the Brazilian electoral system. We are going to talk about this, talk about our capital invasion, our version of the capital invasion. But before that, the main tactics used by Bolsonaro was saying that our electoral system was broken and biased. So people who were spreading misinformation about the electoral system got banned on Twitter because of the Supreme Court. So this batch of emails leaked, and then Elon Musk said, Moraes applied heavy fines, threatened to arrest our employees, and cut the access of X, Twitter, in Brazil.
Oh, Lord.
The thing is, we do not know if this is true. He didn't bring any proof. We do not know if Twitter was fined, threatened. We don't know. But the thing got a little bit weird when this happened. Let me send you an image. Take a look at this image. Elon Musk took a random ass tweet from Alexandre de Moraes that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. He's congratulating another minister. And he said, why are you demanding so much censorship in Brazil? This was right after the Twitter files. This tweet...
Yeah, do you mind giving a little bit of context of who is this guy? The guy with the schlong number, schlong name? Who is he?
Michael Schellenberger. Let me look. Michael Schellenberger is an American author and journalist who writes about politics, the environment, and climate change. He is a co-founder of the Breakthrough Institute. Oh, he is a climate change denialist. He's a climate change denialist.
I like him already.
Yep. Probably that's why he fell on the far-right circles. He wrote a book called Apocalypse Never. Apocalypse Never. Oh my fucking god. So I sent you an image that Elon tweeted recently. Coming shortly, fuck X, will publish everything demanded by Alexandre and how those requests violate Brazilian law. This judge, pay attention to this part. This judge has brazenly and repeatedly betrayed the Constitution and people of Brazil. He should resign or be impeached. Shame, Alexandre, shame. I am dead sure he did not write this out of his own. Elon Musk had no fucking idea who Alexandre de Moraes was yesterday. This is the right-wing discourse in Brazil that was passed to him to support the far-right narrative on Twitter. That is the important part.
And even,
apparently,
even if it's not like a planned like structural thing, sorry for interrupting you. If he has like employees that are in the PR department, marketing department, or whatever for the Brazilian market, right? Or somebody
definitely
over on Twitter that works for the Brazilian market. I mean, they would have gotten in that position during the previous president's era. Let's not even utter his name, and therefore most likely ideologically inclined to agree with the Brazilian far right, etc., etc. So they de facto just think this is truth, and de facto just think this is like a hot take that he should take, and they
and apparently
retweets.
Apparently the Supreme Court took some decisions about what Elon Musk should do, and he didn't fulfill any, but we don't know which decisions those are because nobody said anything. But what happened was Elon Musk threatened to reestablish the Twitter profiles that were banned for hate speech, for fake news, for questioning the electoral system. And Alexandre de Moraes put Elon Musk in a thing called the Digital Militia Inquiry. The Digital Militia Inquiry is an inquiry that investigates coordinated actions of the far right in social media.
That makes them sound so much cooler than what they are, which is fucking online bots.
Digital militia, yeah. And Alexandre also said, for every profile that is reestablished, Elon Musk and Twitter will be fined $100,000 fine. So it is a threat.
Per day. It's $100,000 per day per account.
Day,
That is
per
not
account.
That is not
Oh
banned.
wow, no, that is
So
a
if,
threat.
for example,
That
if
is a-
Alexandre de Moraes says you have to ban 20 accounts and he doesn't ban them, he's going to be fined $100,000 per day per account.
Yeah.
So 2
This
mil
is,
just for
very-
those 20. Yeah, just for those accounts. Yeah.
This is typical Paraguayan gardener threat. He said that a billion times about a billion things. And let's be clear here about something else. Elon Musk is a white supremacist. And he's not a light white supremacist. He's a total white supremacist. If you've seen his latest activity on Twitter, he has been sharing white supremacist accounts. This free speech thing has two main reasons. First, protects the hate speech that Elon Musk propagates,
Yeah.
that he himself propagates, and protect his business interests, especially within the far right of Brazil. Let's remember that the one who permitted Starlink to go into the Amazon
Yeah.
to make internet available to illegal miners was the cuck for Elon Musk, Bolsonaro. I couldn't find the video. I looked for the video where Bolsonaro's son was speaking in very broken English, much brokener than mine, and saying, "Oh, my wife loves you. I love you. Everyone in Brazil loves you." It was
But my
massive
wife especially
cuckery.
loves you. Please come over at night. My love really, really loves you.
Yeah,
They would be very
please,
disappointed though. Like Jesus Christ, get somebody like Bezos to properly salute Comrade Bezos, the great ruler of Twitch, to properly like come and do some cuckold. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Bezos. I think he wasn't available. He was flying on
they
his
were.
flying dick.
Imagine
But
there's
Amazon
like a
has a
global
fair
conspiracy that if you become president of any country, you have to perform cuckoldry with at least 10 billionaires, right? And they
With
record all of
billionaires,
it,
yeah.
and that is how they actually control every single state around the world.
So basically, Bolsonaro said, "Please, Elon Musk, get into my house and fuck my family in the ass." So we have Starlink now. The illegal miners have Starlink now. And this is the Elon Musk affair as of today. I think we'll see more in the future. I don't know how this disappeared in the news abroad, but here in Brazil, because this minister is a persona non grata, he's a figure he's a person that is hated by the far right movement. We are talking about this every single day. Let me get in Twitter to see if there's something new.
I just want to add an extra angle to the conversation, Ian. I was being respectful
Definitely.
to see if we're eventually gonna get there. But the other angle that is super interesting is that we have to think about the geopolitics of the region. The Ministry of one of the main Ministry of Defenses from the U.S. said that they had a 25-year strategic military plan for the Triangle of Lithium in South America.
Yeah.
The triangle